Kick it.
Hi, I'm Jeff Amsden. Welcome to my lifts video. Today I'm going to be teaching you some exciting lifts to add to your choreographic repertoire. Many of these lifts were taught to me not by male dancers, but by my female partners at the Joffrey Ballet Concert Group and Chamber Ballet USA. The girls were very specific with hand placement, how to really lift them and place them in just the right spot to make them look exactly beautiful. Now, one of the things I'm going to be covering today is hand placement and each person's responsibility while executing this lift, both the boy's responsibility and the girl's responsibility. Before attempting any of these lifts, it's very important that you're really warmed up so that there's not going to be any injuries. As an added precaution, I would always recommend to have at least one person spotting you. And if you have them, it's a great idea to put down gymnastics mat and perfect all these lifts on a mat just to be a little bit safer. And then once you have them, move them onto the regular dance floor. All right, now, one of the first rules I learned as a young dancer was to never drop the girl. Now, in order for that to be possible, it's important for the girl to really trust the guy. No matter what happens in the air, she can't abort the lift and relax or start to laugh. Because if she relaxes, she becomes very heavy and dead weight, and the boy cannot save the lift. There's nothing I can do if you relax. If you hold your composure and you trust me, in the middle of the air, I can make a few hand adjustments or I can move my legs in such a way to get a little more underneath you, and I can save the lift, or at the very least, I can bring you down in a very safe and composed manner so that you come gracefully down and no one's injured. The boy's not injured and the girl's not injured. Most of the injuries happen when somebody relaxes or they start laughing and you become dead weight and I have to drop you or catch you in a dead drop. Okay, so make sure you trust the boy and save it at all costs. I have an amazing partner. She's one of the best dancers in the country, and I'd like to introduce her at this time, Katie Spreadberry. Katie?
Hi, Jeff. Ladies, before beginning a lifting session for both you and your partner's safety, please remember to remove all your jewelry. So no rings, no earrings, no necklaces, or anything else that might get in the way of a lift. Also remember not to apply any hand lotion while doing a lifting session to avoid slippage when you're doing grips. Last thing, make sure that you're not wearing any acrylic nails. They might scratch you or fold back or scratch your partner in the worst case scenario.
Also, guys, if you tend to sweat a lot like I do, it's good to have a hand towel to make sure you dry your arms, both the guys and the girls, and make sure that there's no excess oils on your hands while you're lifting, because that can cause some problems. Now I'm very excited to go live at Broadway Dance Center. Let's do our lifts. Here we go. All right, this is a simple lift. It's really beautiful and it lends itself to lyrical choreography really easily. The boy actually is on his knees during this lift, and if you've never tried turning on your knees, because you do a quarter turn on this, you might want to wear knee pads just to protect you. I would recommend wearing long pants, definitely. So the boy's gonna start on his knees, and what the girl's gonna do is she's gonna just step in 3 times, and she's gonna actually look to place her hips, because there's very little the guy can do once he's here. He can only dip down so much. She's gonna actually place her hip bones across the top of my right shoulder. This leg is gonna go into an arabesque, and I'm gonna press it up, and her left leg's gonna be in a parallel passe. We're gonna hit that pose for a second. I'm gonna be pressing up from here. I'm gonna have my right arm around her back. I'm gonna hold it for 1 second, and then I'm gonna take this leg and I'm gonna brush it straight through to my hip. I'm gonna do a quarter turn, and she's actually gonna end in double fourth, arch back, and I'm gonna be caressing her over the top, okay? So the first thing she's gonna do is she's gonna take 3 steps. Again, we're gonna make our eye contact, and she's gonna try to hit the lift on the count of 4, and she's gonna be stretched over the top of my shoulder. And 1. All right, we're gonna demonstrate that one more time on the count of 4. Ready? And 1, 2. All right, the next one we're gonna do is the handstand on the knees. I'm gonna start flat on my back, and what I wanna think about before I do this is as she comes in, she's gonna place her shoulders into my hands, but once again, I wanna make sure that I don't put my thumbs here or try to use my thumbs in any way. It's best to tuck your thumbs in and to support the person's weight with the heels of your hand. Now, the other thing is that I wanna let her come to me. I don't wanna try to sit up and go to her, but she's gonna come in and she's gonna put her hands firmly on my knees, and she's just gonna trust that her shoulders are gonna come up to my hands. She's gonna go into a split, and she's gonna open to double attitude and come back down. So you're gonna go back up one more time, go to a handstand, to a split, into second, into double attitude. So it basically just ronde-jambs around. And come up, and into a split, and second, and double attitude, and back down. And come up, and into a split, and second, and double attitude, and back down. All right, the next lift we're gonna do is called the death spiral. Don't get nervous, okay? Now, the reason it's called the death spiral, it's actually a lift that ice skaters do. And because ice is essentially wet concrete, if the girl's head gets a little bit too close to the ice, it can be dangerous. All right, so a couple things that are very important. First of all is the wrist. The boy's wrist is actually turned in this direction, and the girl grabs and pulls with all of her might here. And that twist is what makes her body rotate in the middle of the lift. Now, one thing that's very important for the girl is that this arm must be up and as close to her ear as possible. She doesn't actually want to reach her arm out to the side because she's going to be falling towards the floor. If that hand is stiff, she could, damage her arm. So the closer her arm is to her face, the more we're going to protect this. Now, the other thing is that she wants to lean away as if she's a board and pull and stretch the entire side of her body stiffly away from the guy. So again, her left arm is pulling away and her body is pulling away from the boy as much as possible. Let me just change my grip a little bit, okay? So again, what the boy wants to do is just hold on for a second. Now what I'm doing is I have to pull equally away from her. Her body pulling away from me, my body pulling away from her, creates a counterbalance which allows me to walk around her and lower her to the ground. This is a good one. You really need to practice this one on gymnastics mats because what I have to do is I have to lower her down onto her side, turn her into a plie, and she's going to seesaw out of it. And it's really more not about strength, but it's about counterbalance. How much I lean away from her and how much she leans away from me. And the first couple times, she might be leaning a little too much, you get nervous and you kind of fall forward, or vice versa, I might be leaning away too much. So it's really finding that happy balance between her leaning and my leaning that creates the center point, that creates a nice, easy lowering to the floor. Okay? So we're going to demonstrate it once for you, and at the end, she's going to do a beautiful seesaw and come out of it, which is really exciting. And we're gonna go and lean away. All right, good. We're gonna do that one more time. Now what happened there is I backed up just a little bit too much, and I wanna stop right in front of her so that when she goes into the seesaw, she can actually push down on my hand and use my hand as if it's the ballet bar to push against to help get a little bit higher in the air, all right? So we're gonna go, let's make eye contact and go. Push. Excellent. And from there, you can go into anywhere, and it's something really exciting, I think beautiful to add to your choreography. All right, the next lift we're going to do is not a really advanced one. It's pretty simple, actually, but I think it's beautiful artistically, and it's something that a young male dancer who's first learning how to partner would be able to tackle this and build his confidence from doing this lift. The lift is actually performed with the boy's back to the audience. And the best way to present this lift choreographically is to have something going on during the beginning part of this lift so that the girl is actually gone. She's not revealed at the beginning of the lift, but that she comes up through two people here, they move away. The girl appears and she reveals. But I'm going to show you all the mechanics sideways so that you can see what actually goes on. So the guy is actually on his knees, and what's going to happen is the girl's going to come in and she's going to actually hug the boy and be sort of like vulnerable over him. And now what's going to happen, just come up for a second, is I'm going to actually grab her, not at the knees, but I'm actually going to pull her in from my forearms, from her calf muscles. I'm going to pull her shin bones into the front of my body, and she's going to come up, and she's going to come up through the middle. This is the lift that I actually did with Paula Abdul in Blowing Kisses in the Wind. So we're going to contract, and from here, she's going to lift up, and she's going to come down, and she's going to disappear, and I'm holding her weight. I kind of have my right hand grabbing my left wrist here, and it's really easy. I could sit here and talk, and I'm not even out of breath doing this. It's real easy. And then from here, she's going to come up, which is the reveal, and then from here, I'm just going to take her, and she's going to arch down, and she's going to roll. One time, I'm going to pull her up. She's going to hinge a little bit, and then she's just going to end. Now we're going to try it with my back to the camera or to the audience, and you can see how the lift really works within a piece of choreography. And then from here, you could go anywhere. You could go into another lift, or the girl could leave, the boy could go over here, and you could maybe set up for a throw, or the girl could be the beginning of the girl's solo, or the beginning of the boy's solo. So you can really go any direction from the end of that lift. Great. The next lift we're going to do is the front walk over to the shoulder. The guy is going to take a lunge in fourth position. The girl's going to come in and she's going to press against his thighs, right hand or left hand, whichever, if it's like a right-handed cartwheel or a left-handed cartwheel, whichever arm feels more secure being forward. The guy is going to come and he's going to lock his arms around her waist. He's going to roll her tailbone up, and so that she's sitting on his shoulders. She's going to open her arms to second position, and once again, she has to press down under her armpits. Once I feel that she's secure on my shoulder, I'm going to transfer my arms, my hands, underneath her armpits while she's pressing down. I'm going to rotate her, and she's going to take both her legs to a double attitude, and then I'm going to lunge, and I'm going to take a 45-degree angle, and she's going to want to try to take her right leg and extend it down my back like a slide and go onto a grand jeté, scissor split, front aerial, round up back handspring. All right? Yeah. So here we go. So she's going to come in and she's going to use my thigh as if it's the ground. I'm holding my abs in so that I'm supported, and I'm going to roll her up to my shoulder. And beautiful. And we're going to do it one more time. Now, the only thing is that once you feel your hips go up to here, you want to sit up from your abs just a little bit sooner. Other than that, it was perfect. Ready, and go. Beautiful. Once again, from there, you can go into the death spiral. Right from there, you can turn around and jeté right out of it. You want to do it one more time? One more time. Good. And as she comes down, you want to try to reconnect with your partner and take your focus back to her. Perfect. The next lift we're going to do is called the standing Titanic pose. This is actually 3 sets of lifts and 1 combination of choreography. This, I will admit, is a little more advanced, but if you really are secure in your lunge, it's not as hard as you might think. What is actually going to happen is the boy is going to take a very, very deep lunge. Okay? Now on this one, as opposed to most, you don't want to be completely parallel, and you don't want to be completely turned out either. But what I'm actually creating is I'm creating a step for the girl to step on. If I'm not quite in a lunge, what happens is I create a slide, and she's not going to be able to actually step. She's just slide right off my legs. So you have to really use your inner thigh and your buttocks to hold this. Now the girl is going to start, she's going to start a couple steps away from me. And what she's going to do is she's going to actually take 3 steps. She's going to go left, right. She's going to place her left foot turned out onto my thigh, and with that momentum in one full swoop, she's going to go left, right into a 5th position. I'm going to grab the front of her left leg with my left arm. I'm going to grab the front of her right leg with my right arm, And she's gonna reach out and she's gonna arch out and she's gonna recreate the Kate Winslet pose on the front of the ship in the movie The Titanic. So that's where we came up with the name. And then from there, I'm gonna bring her back in and she's gonna rond de jambe to arabesque. She's gonna sit down on the top of my right shoulder. I'm gonna turn her. She's gonna drop down into a basket. And then I'm gonna extend my arms and she's gonna roll towards me. She's gonna arch up and she's gonna come down into a basket and I'm gonna let her down. So the first part is we're gonna get into a nice lunge and she's gonna step in with her left foot right onto my thigh. The lower I can get, the better it is. And okay, so from here, you're gonna come this way. Yeah. Okay, one more time. Let's try that. Okay. All right, so the first part was very good. The next lift we're gonna do is called a kneeling roll to double attitude. So obviously we both start on our knees side to side, and we're gonna start out with a little bit of lyrical contemporary choreography at the beginning. So we're gonna start wrapped around one another. This could be maybe the beginning of a piece, and we're both gonna arch, and I'm gonna wrap around her. And what I'm gonna do here, let's just face side a little bit, is I'm gonna actually reach behind her and I'm gonna grab her with my arm around her back. And then I'm gonna take her knees, take my left hand under her knees, and I'm gonna roll her up onto my shoulder so that her pelvis is sitting across the top of my shoulders. All right? The next thing I'm gonna do is once I get her up here, I'm gonna step with my left foot, and with all my might, I'm gonna stand up, and I'm gonna take my arms right underneath her armpits. I'm gonna turn her in double attitude, and then I'm gonna just slightly plie, and she's gonna come down and extend to the floor. So the hardest part of the lift is not the actual lift, it's the standing up. So this is a good one for building your leg muscles if you need to build your leg muscles a little bit. All right, the next one we're gonna do is very advanced. It's called the standing rolling split to the floor. But I'm gonna talk through the lift as I do it because it's a little bit too difficult to just talk about ethereal as if, okay? So now I'm gonna take a grand plie in second position. I wanna have a really, really deep second position so that I create a step across here. What the girl's gonna do is she's gonna step with her left foot in one movement. She's gonna step up onto my thigh. I'm gonna reach around the inner part of her thigh and pull her in. She's gonna take her right leg to second and she's gonna pull it up and stretch it as high as she can. The next thing she's gonna do is she's gonna take this hand and lower it across my chest to lay across the top of my neck, once again, the top of my shoulders, okay? Beautiful. Hi, the next one we're gonna do is called the jeté attitude over the back. It's a simple lift, but it's very effective, and I think it's really beautiful. So I'm gonna ask Katie to be me for a second, and she's gonna just be slightly forward, 45-degree angle with the back. And when the girl's gonna come in, and she's gonna step right, and she's gonna step left, and she's gonna reach across, and she's gonna press down with her armpit over the guy's shoulder. And once again, this is a lift where the girl is doing a lot of the work. It's the pressing down that's gonna lift her up. What she's gonna do with her right leg is take it across my back and think of reaching that leg across to the front of my body. Her back leg is gonna be an attitude, and what is keeping her on my back is the spiral of the right leg and the right arm and the left leg attitude trying to come towards each other. So the front leg and the back leg are spiraling. She has this épaulement in the upper body. If she were to sit straight up, she would slide right off my back like a slide. So it's the torque, it's the épaulement, it's the spiral that keeps her on my back. Now the guy is not in a complete flat back, so I'm not here and I'm not straight up. I'm 45 degrees and I'm reaching here. So on the count of 4, she's gonna come in and reach across, and we're gonna do one turn and I'm gonna let her down, and she's gonna do a chaîné out. Ready? Now from here, just gonna lower her. She's gonna turn, and she's gonna come out, and she's gonna go into something else right from there. Where you could go to the floor. There's a million places that you can go from that. The next lift we're gonna do is a beautiful lift called the pinwheel. And what's gonna happen is the girl is gonna take we're gonna start, but she's just gonna take a flat back, and she's gonna take her right leg to a tabletop parallel second. So, perfect. So what I'm gonna do now is gonna get in front of her. And what my hands are doing is my hands are gonna be right in the front of her hips. And when she takes her leg parallel, what happens is she creates an angle in her hip here, and my hand gets locked into that position right there, and that's what keeps my hand from slipping in the air. I'm gonna take her straight up over my head, and she's gonna be holding on to my shoulders. And one of the things the girl that wants to be very careful is the guy has arteries running across here. And whenever you're doing a lift and you're grabbing onto the guy's shoulders, you wanna make sure that you're pressing down on his shoulders and that you don't wanna get anywhere into here. A lot of times the girls will take their thumbs and they think that they're supporting their weight. And what they actually do is they close off this artery on both sides of the guy, and then he blacks out underneath you, and it's a big wreck. It's kind of exciting, but it's dangerous, okay? So I don't recommend it. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go up on the count of 4. I'm gonna go 1, 2. We're gonna do a little plie together. She's gonna be parallel, okay? I'm gonna take her up. I'm gonna press her up over my head. I'm gonna turn, and what's nice about this is that it's a really easy lift to lock your arms out, to hold your stomach in, and to lock your back, so the weight is held almost in your bones and not in your muscles. And then at the height of the lift, I'm gonna push up a little bit more on her left hip, which is gonna cause her right leg to come down, and she's gonna tilt onto my hip. She's gonna jeté across the front of my right hip, and she's gonna support her weight here, and I'm gonna turn her and let her down. Okay, so we're gonna go up. And again, the girl is going parallel with her legs. She's not trying to turn this leg out in second position. It's actually the parallel that holds my hands into place in this lift. So we're gonna hit the count of 4 straight up over my head. Are you sweating yet? Are you working hard? I mean, come on. Are you marking? What are we doing here? Ready? 1, 2. Beautiful. Nice. All right, the next one we're gonna do is really pretty. It's called a jeté double attitude to the shoulder. So she's gonna start off at an angle. I'm gonna reach out to her with my left hand. She's gonna take 2 steps in. I'm gonna bend my knees so that when she jetés, all I have to do is plie, and she's almost gonna jump onto my shoulder by herself. I'm gonna do 1 turn. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna take my arm out to second, and she's gonna wrap her legs, and she's gonna use her legs almost like she's hanging from the monkey bars. She's gonna drape her back across my body. She's gonna reach down my left leg. She's gonna fan her legs, and she's gonna walk out. So the slower you do this and the more time you take, the more romantic it is, the more beautiful the lift is. So you actually wanna see the mechanics of this lift as it unfolds to the audience. So, ready, and all right, we're gonna put 4 of these lifts together now. We're gonna start with Romeo and Juliet. We're gonna go into the Titanic pose. We're gonna follow that by the death spiral. And then we're gonna go into the arabesque double attitude to 4th position on the floor. And this time we're gonna do it to music. So you can be creative. You can take these, link them together however you think will best fit into your choreography, and it will spruce up all of your lyrical, contemporary ballet, or even your musical theater pieces. I know a lot of you studio owners, maybe you don't have boys at your studio, so we've got some lifts here that girls can do with girls. And to help us show that here today, Brittany Kern. And once again, Katie Spreadberry. The first lift we're gonna do is a double cartwheel. It's something maybe you did on the playground as a young person. And we're gonna call Brittany the bass person. And she's gonna come out, and she's gonna take a grand plie in second. And what this person wants to do is she's gonna come in and she's gonna place her shoulder onto Brittany's thigh, and she's gonna support her own body weight by hugging her thigh. She's gonna kick up as she takes her left arm into Brittany, and Brittany's gonna pull her up. And now what Brittany's gonna do is she's gonna pretend that Katie's legs are her arms, and she's gonna place her to the side and stand up and up and out. And that was absolutely beautiful. Now, what the bass person doesn't want to do is they don't want to lean forward, but they want to stand up, hold this person as tight to their body as they possibly can, and as they bend to the side, as if they would in a cartwheel, they want to imagine that the person that's now in the air, that their legs are their arms. So now we're going to go in a little bit faster, and we're going to just keep it going. And go. Perfect. And straight up. And excellent. Beautifully done, ladies. All right, the next lift we're going to do, we call on your knees, back fan. So they start side by side on their knees, and it's very simple. They're both going to contract down to the floor. Brittany's going to go first, and she's going to do a fan. She's going to reach across. Go ahead and use her and lay back on her and use her as support. You're not going to break her. Trust me. Ready, and go. And nice, beautiful, well done. And use her for support. There you go. Awesome. And contract. Beautiful, ladies. And go. The next lift we're gonna do is called the cartwheel fan Tinsica. You could do it with a guy or you could do it with a girl. So I'm gonna show Brittany, or the bass person's part first, with Katie. I'm gonna reach my left arm to her, and she's gonna hand me her left arm. She's gonna come in and she's gonna place her torso flat against my torso. Before she does that, I'm gonna reach down with my forearm. I'm gonna be just above her hip bone, and I'm gonna pull this elbow into the side of my body. So the elbow into the side of the body actually is supporting the weight. I'm not out here trying to balance the weight. If you do that, it's gonna be very cumbersome and it's gonna be difficult. If I just stand up tall and hold this here, her hips are gonna rotate across my forearm without any difficulty at all. So I'm gonna try it once, and come in, and down. And now Brittany is gonna come in, and she's gonna do exactly what I did. And ready, and go, and up. There you go, nice. All right, one more time for luck. That was beautiful. Okay, now flatten out this way. And here we go, ready, and up. That was fantastic. All right, the next one we're gonna do is a little bit self-explanatory. It's called the conveyor belt. The base person, Brittany, is laying flat on her back. Katie has draped her torso across her hips, and she's gonna keep stretching. Brittany's gonna keep her arms reaching towards you, and she's gonna roll and conveyor belt Katie into a shoulder stand, down into a contraction. And here we go, ladies, and go. That was really amazing. That was really good. One more time for luck. And go. And a little bit of floor work to get back up. All right, the next lift we're gonna do, we call a thigh stand to the split. Brittany, who's amazing, is gonna take a lunge. The deeper the lunge and the flatter this angle can be, the more successful this lift is gonna be. Katie's gonna come in and she's gonna take her arms and wrap with all her might around her thigh, and she's gonna place her shoulder onto her thigh. The closer that she can get to her hip bone, the better it's gonna be. She's gonna support her entire weight by holding on to Brittany's thigh, and she's gonna take her back leg up into a penché. Brittany's gonna reach forward, she's gonna pull it until her bottom leg comes off the floor. She's gonna take a bottom attitude, and then open it, allongé, and just step back out of it the same way she come in. And I'm just gonna spot her, and she places her right shoulder on, she grabs her thigh, she lifts her off the ground, she extends, overstretches it, hits that moment, and then back out. Just a little more stretch at the end. Really dig your shoulder into her thigh. And pull it up, keep the arch in the back, keep your arch in the back, and extend, and reach that foot all the way to the floor, and come up. Excellent, well done. And reach the leg, and pull it up, and higher, and extend, and walk back out. Oh, that was perfect, beautiful, well done. All right, ladies, well done. You deserve a hug. Thank you, Brittany. Thank you, Katie. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to study this DVD. I want to thank Broadway Dance Center for the opportunity to put some of these lifts on DVD so that when I'm 65, I can look back and remember that I could actually lift back in the day. Remember that safety is the most important issue, so always make sure that you're warmed up and you're ready to go. Have a spotter, get those gymnastics mats out to make sure that you're completely safe if something does go wrong. Ladies, always remember to hold your posture in the air no matter what happens, even if you think it's gonna be a complete disaster. You can save it even with a girl lifting you if you hold your posture and your composure. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. I hope that some of these lifts will inspire you to be even more creative than myself and create a lift that maybe I had not even thought about. If you do, email me or come see me here at Broadway Dance Center in New York. Thank you very much.